Jay's fifth bevy there as well. Cheers.
He's fifth. Sixth, actually.
Cheers. Trying to get one. Right, I'm going to have a sip, aren't I? As I've explained, because I'm in sober October.
Just a little one to wet the whistle.
Another one.
We'll be in G-Bar tonight if we want out.
That is lovely, that. You can have that next.
No, but these bevies are actually really nice. This is a Neptune Beauty. Is it each one named after like a different name, or because this one is about due to her beauty, Stella was transformed by a jealous witch into a snake-like six-headed monster with snarling dogs attached to her torso. She lurked into a cave under the sea to satisfy her cravings. She would devour seafarers as they sailed across the sea. You'll find this IPA is an easy drinking beer and very devourable too.
Some bio, that, mate.
Lovely, that.
And I can tell you can taste Scylla.
It's nice. Based in Maghull in at Neptune Brewery. Sponsored the podcast.
Yeah.
Give you a few before, didn't he?
Yeah.
Belter.
Second industrial estate.
Yeah.
Les, top man. Nice one, Les.
Yeah.
Thanks, Les.
Thank you very much. And he was saying it does all, what did he say, like tastings, and like he has food stalls on as well sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah, so he was saying to me every Saturday, but pre-COVID, and I was not doing it to me. Everything's pre-COVID, isn't it?
When we can have fun.
He gets like sort of like outside caterers in, and you sort of like book your space, you come down, and then they always do a vegan option, by the way, as well. And what's it called? You come down, you get your outside caterer, like pizzas, whatever it may be, and you can just get a bevy and whatever else.
Belter.
Yeah, we're going industrial. Something different, isn't it?
So when we can get down, lad, we'll go down.
I've got to say, this is absolutely fantastic. If you get an opportunity to drink it, give it a go, because it's fucking lovely.
What's yours?
A Zeely. It's fantastic, to be fair. Pale ale.
Belter. I love a pale, mate.
Yeah, I love a pale.
There's a 7% in there, which is snarled then.
Yeah.
Taking
I
that home.
had 8.5.
It's a Wednesday night, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had 8.5 last week. Oh my god.
It's a good job you don't drive, you know. You had a bevy in the car on the way up here. He'd be gutted if he had to drive all the stuff about.
Nah, I'd be more sensible. Do you know what I mean? I'm like the designated drinker in the car. He's the designated driver. I'm the piss one.
But anyway, it's a special one. We haven't mentioned that. So we're not in the usual space here. We're in Maghull, my hometown. Place very dear to my heart.
In West Lancashire.
So son of a barber. So a bit of context. I've known Mike 10 years now. Well, we've known each other for years. I mean, we were kids in school.
Yeah.
Went to the same school. But I've been getting my haircut off Mike for 10 years. And so when we started the podcast, I was mentioning, I was like, we'll come in here, lad, and show it off, because it is, as you can see.
It's a lovely barbers, like
Boss
lovely.
barbers. Seen it develop
Thanks
over the
a lot.
years. No, you're welcome, lad.
My barber's is about like an 8 to the size of this.
No, well, I've seen it develop over the years. There used to be a wall there, Jay, and it used to have couches, and then you've always had FIFA. Even before every barber done it, I remember thinking he's had FIFA here. Let's go to the barbers, yeah. But it's boss.
You made FIFA cool and barbers.
Yeah. Well, and it's been 10 years this weekend, is it?
10 years Sunday.
Sunday.
10 years Sunday.
That's what a coincidence.
Is it went really quick, do you think, or is it like
Yeah. How old are you now?
24, lad?
24.
I was 14 when I got my first haircut off you.
That's fucking years ago for me. Like, but yeah, like I just find once you get to 21, and then I'm 32 now, it's
Flies,
just both.
yeah.
Like that just goes.
Man,
down,
that's
it's
Not
just
good.
crazy.
That's not good to hear, lad. I'm only 3 years into it.
Nice one, lad.
No, I think this year, though, to be fair, is probably the quickest year I've ever been.
When I looked back at a picture, I was like, oh, I remember that. I was like, wow, that was last New Year. I was like, it seemed like the other
Mad,
month.
innit?
Because I haven't had a bevy. I haven't been out for a bevy since.
It's just been mad, and all this has gone, Mary, to be fair, all this COVID and that. But
Boss, making the most of it, me and you, though.
yeah, we are, to be fair.
So
I'll get over it.
how long was you shut for? Like, how long did you not cut a
102
hair?
days.
102?
Yeah. So March the 23rd. Monday, March the 23rd or 26th, whatever it was.
You never lost your touch anyway.
Yeah,
Come back, lads, like it's
you know
like you'd
what?
never been gone.
Because I hadn't conserved that long. Literally, I just said to a few of my mates the night before we reopened, listen, boys, you're gonna have to get in the shop because I can't just literally just go in on here. Do you know what I mean? I need a bit of warm up. Need to like.
There's a few
loosen the
calendars
brakes,
around here.
Yeah.
Butchered a few of the lads, but yeah, 3 months we were shut for. It was just, you know yourself, it was just the maddest 3 months ever, weren't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was defo, but was it good for you, the 3 months? Did you enjoy it? Because you haven't stopped working in 10 years, really, have you? You haven't had 3 months off in 10 years.
I don't take 2 weeks off at a
You
time.
don't
Like,
take-
do you know my problem is like, if I ever take off time, or if I ever take time off with me bears or whatever, we always go away. We never go away in this country normally. So we've got like this little chihuahua. She's like our little baby and that. So like we won't go away for longer than a week. So to take 3 months off, whereas normally I'm off for like 10 days max. I'll go away for a week, take 3 days off in this country, and then just take back to work to be off for 3 months. It was just mad, wasn't it?
Yeah, just like
I enjoyed it though, it was boss.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's like
Every
a
time
mini-
You said to me now, you said to me, Jordan, it was like, you'll never get this time off except for when you retire again.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, you literally won't, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless I quit my job, I'm literally not going to have this time again.
Yeah.
And guess what I've done? Worked all the way through lockdown.
Yeah, I felt for them people who were key workers, like
yeah.
Well, we were, but like we got I got furloughed, me, and I was just like, haha. Yes.
How long did you furlough for?
A while, like I can't even remember, mate. I honestly can't remember. The times of playing, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, this year's been like that, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did your fella still cut it? Is he still working?
Yeah,
with Dad,
yeah.
So that got on this mad story. First time I come here, this building, it didn't look like this, but me and my dad was sat there. My dad was staring at Mike in the mirror. Like, I know him. And to me, I know him. I was like, you don't. You don't. And he's like, I do know him. And he went, is your dad called Mike?
Paul.
Yeah, he went,
Yeah,
is your half fella
yeah.
Paul? And he went, don't say I look like my dad. And he's like, he used to cut my hair. And his dad used to cut my dad's hair. Was it in Bootle? By
Melon.
Bankhall?
Oh no, he's got one. Was it Bankhall where your half used to
Back
go?
in the day, I think in
I'm sure he used to
Bankhall,
go to Melon as well. Your dad, you know, I'm sure he's mentioned
Back in
that
the
to
day
me.
we did, but I think my half used to have a yard in Bootle, and he used to go there to get his hair cut in by
Yeah.
Bankhall. And
So she's still a barber now? Has he
Yeah.
got his own shop, or does he work here? Or?
Yeah, he's got 3 shops, my dad.
Oh, where's he work?
Yeah, so he's got his main one's Waterloo.
On
So
St
that's
John's
one.
Road?
Do you know it?
Lad, I knew I recognised you. It'd be your dad, defo. On St John's Road, lad. Yeah, he used to come
On the
here,
corner.
defo.
Do you used to cut your hair?
I haven't been for years,
Are
like.
you from around that way, are you?
Yeah.
Happy days. That's a mad
yeah,
one,
you
man,
might
innit?
think he's from South Liverpool with them socks. with them socks.
I think he was from South Liverpool as well, you know.
He's moved
They're
to
like
South
Lane
Liverpool.
specials.
Aren't they laughing? He's not from South. He's from Bootle, lad. He's from Bootle, but since he's moved down south, pink top, brown socks. Show the camera. Get them socks in there.
People change.
I like them, lad. I've got none on. But yeah, that's mad. That his dad used to cut your hair as well.
Because as soon as we pulled him out, I recognised him. But then as soon as you said your dad, then I went, his dad
Yeah,
defo owns that
yeah.
barber shop on St John's Road.
Boss had. So was that
Yeah.
why son of a barber? That where that come from?
Son of a barber.
Boss
We called
that.
L31, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then I got the shop all done up. And I was just looking at the shop and I thought, we need to change the name. L31, it doesn't suit anymore. And I thought, I've got no plans to open up any more shops at the minute. But in the future, you never know what's going to happen. And L31 is Maghull, innit? I can't just go to like...
Can't be going to
Allscare
L4, yeah.
or somewhere just say L31 Barber. It wouldn't make sense, would it?
Yeah.
So I just thought, I was sitting in bed one day and I was thinking I need to rename the shop. And I was like going through names and like thinking of bits and bobs. And then just son of a bitch popped into my head and I thought,
Yeah.
son of a barber. And I just,
And you are, lad,
yeah, I'm son of a barber, aren't I? It's just, I don't know why it appeared.
I remember when I had my long hair and I hadn't been here for a while, and then I rang. I just googled L31 Barbers because I'd never saved the number in 10 years of been coming. And then I rang up and he was son of a barber, and I was like, is this L31? Yeah, we changed our name. I was like, oh thank God. I was thinking, name defo better than I hadn't seen Mike for ages. But so how long has it been son of a barber now for?
May 2017, I think it was.
Oh,
Yeah, May 2017. We opened October 2010 as L31.
Belter. Boss. I remember it. I think it was like 5 years or something. You had a party in the back, then your little barbecue and
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Sick that. Back in the day, I remember.
Yeah.
Boss, can't be doing that now either, can we?
Can't do anything anymore, can we?
I've saved
Fair, you can. If you're not outside. I think it's like, there's some things alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be. The less said about COVID, the better.
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So how did you get into barbering then through your dad? Is it?
Yeah, so I don't know if you was like the same as me in school, but like I was just one of those kids who like didn't know what they wanted to do.
Yeah, I was the same.
Well, in theory, I actually did know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a sound records engineer, and I wanted to be like the next Dr. Dre. And then I realised I'm a white
You
kid
love
from
your
Maghull.
rap, don't you?
And it's not happening. I mean, dad convinced me it's not happening. Like, yeah, because I love me hip hop and all that. So, what's called me, our fella said, listen, why don't you come to me?
Is that why you used to have cornrows in school?
You don't talk about that.
Used to go around like a Davids.
And my dad just said, I'll teach you how to cut hair. By the time you're 19, if you don't like it, you can like go and do your own thing. But if you travel around the world, you've always got a skill and you can always earn donor for it.
a
You
good
can't
way
argue with
looking
that,
at
can you?
that,
Like,
yeah.
And then just got into it from there and then ended up with my own shop as you're doing stuff like
Boss
that.
head.
Like, so yeah, it's just yeah, that's how I got into it, like type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a boss job, innit?
It is a belt. Everyone needs a haircut, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the difference is, like, how many barbers is there, do you know what I mean? And people who just go to any barbers, I just think you're a braver man than me.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
had
yeah.
that many bad haircuts when I was in school and that.
Yeah.
Now that I've found a decent barber, we were saying before we started, there's someone who comes from Bristol, is it?
Yeah.
To yourself, I'd probably be that guy, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not even scared of change either. I love change. It's just, I've had that many where I'm like, yeah, it's sound. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I've been butchered a lot. I haven't with the best hair in the world, as you can probably tell, and the cameras
don't
can
put
probably
yourself
tell.
down, lads.
Listen, facts are facts at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
I'm not lying.
And I go in the barbers, go, listen, I'm going bald. Let's do our best to hide it. I'm a crafty coma, let's make you a crafty coma, basically. And I've had so many bad haircuts. Like, I've been to gaffs and like, it's annoying. Like, when you go to a place and like, you do appointments only, don't you now? When you go to a place and it's walk-ins and like, it happens in barbers,
I
doesn't
hope
it?
she's finished before.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I wanted to do my hair and she's like, next please. And you're like, can I wait for him? But only someone just come in there, do you know what I mean? And I just like, I found a good barbers in South Road, actually it was.
Happy days.
I used to go to your dad's one actually, but so I used to go to South Road in the end. And we recommended me to go to this Finnegan, so I went, really good. Then I moved house and then I found me barbers now, shout out Crew on Smithtown Road. And
Can't be doing that.
what?
Blasphemy that in here.
Well, we'll edit it.
But no, there's loads of barbers, but when you find a barber that's right for you, that's what I think why people travel from Bristol and that. It's because
Well,
you're like,
that's
I want to go there.
And every barber that's out there, like, they'll be the perfect barber for someone like myself.
You
like,
can't because everyone's here, can you?
Well, that's it. Like, I've got people in the past, and sometimes you don't ever see them again, and you can't please everyone.
Yeah.
But I have got a good clientele myself, and what I like about barbering is you're all learning the same way, but you're all sort of each individual barber finds their own way to cut hair. You have your own style in your head, and some people might not like my style. That's why, like in here, you've got like myself, Ryan, and Leah, and we're all 3 different styles. So you want to sort of like try and get as many people in, and they might prefer different styles, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you can't please everyone, but each barber is different.
Yeah, of course. I remember coming in when I first come in here. There was a sign up saying like, we won't be offended if you ask for a different barber.
Yeah.
But that was 10 years ago, lad, and it was the first barber I'd ever been in that scene. And I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
You'd be sweating like, oh, please, no, mate, I'll wait.
Sat there 16, proper peed up, do you know what I mean?
I remember being in school, I won't name the barbers, but they were like, oh, I'll cut your hair. And I was like, it's fine. And she was like, oh, I'll be quick. I was like, I don't want you to be quick. You're not selling it there.
Yeah.
You know? Like, but, so when I seen that sign, I remember thinking, like, these are on it. These, like, not everyone wants...
That's what it is.
Like, me alpha, like, it was one of them. He'd go anywhere, pay a $5, just, and he's in and out. He'd walk into any
And he's
barbers.
happy.
Yeah, and he's happy, yeah. But it's come a long way, barbering from that, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, like you still do that type of clientele in certain areas.
Yeah.
There's probably clientele in Maghull with the exact same exactly just want to haircut in and out.
Yeah.
But then I do think over the years, I think because of social media, and I think like you go back years ago, say even like when I first started, like
When you started, it was the comb over. I had the comb over in like 2009, 10, and that's what I remember thinking. That, like,
Still haven't got rid of man 11 years later.
when you was in, not when you started cutting hair, sorry, when I started coming to you, but when you was in school, it was skinheads, weren't it? Like,
Skinheads, yeah.
That was, no one would grow any long
Skinheads,
hair.
Lacoste trackies, Nike Cortez.
Exactly.
What a time to be alive. Do you remember that, or you used to young?
I remember it, but I was more like, I was a kid, so my man dressed me, but me and our kid would have matching Lacoste trackies, like...
Yeah. Do you know what's heavy though? Like I
had the
think
bowl head.
The bowl head was sick. Like the mushroom as well. What's sick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was sick, yeah.
But I think back to like the Lacoste era, and like you're talking. When was that? How old am I now? 32. So you're talking like 17, 18 years ago. And I used to beg me one for Lacoste. He's 180 quid then.
Yeah.
And like that's probably the equivalent
Bruce
of
Lee's now.
what 300 quid now, probably more. And like I used to sort of guilt trip into buying me one, and you think. I was a little bastard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everyone was doing it, weren't they? And like that was crazy money back then.
For a tracking.
I wanted a little Timberland trackie once.
Timberland?
Yeah, Timberland trackie. And proper nice, and we went in, my mum was like, I'm not paying that for it. So just on a limb, we went to the Heritage, and there was a Timberland trackie there. My mum was like, 50 quid. She was like, I'll get you that one. I was alright then, so it was proper made up. I was like, come on, was like, go to play footy, mum. She's like, alright. I was like, I'll put my trackie on. She went, be careful with it. So like, get on this. I was a bit excited, so like I jumped off the wall, landed like that, and it ripped from the front to back.
You told me that the other day.
Yeah, I told you that the other day, lad, yeah. Stick with me, man, for years, that.
It's mad though, because I've just thought back then when we were saying about the comb over. I remember being in school and people started combing the hair over. That was a big thing. Whereas now it's standard to comb your hair over. But then there was the fusey. Do you remember the fusey?
Oh,
I remember
Fusey?
a few people getting fuseys, and I was like, that's mad.
That was a bad
trend.
haircut, that like, yeah.
Did you have
That was Joey Essex, really.
Yeah.
Who set
Did you
that
have
off, like,
people asking for fuseys and that? Did you do a few?
Yeah, I got a few fuseys in, yeah. Yeah, just like a wedge hand. Yeah, I think I got about... Yeah, I get it. I did
That's
do a few back in the day,
mad,
like, yeah, that's class, isn't it?
It's mad how trends come on.
Yeah,
It's like it's just a note there, isn't it? Just basically a note there.
Like
yeah.
a big mushroom, like a knob,
Yeah.
right round, and then
But
just
then
like,
this was longer way and mad.
it's just all like textures and that, like, but that's,
Yeah.
it was proper Essex haircut, that.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you get slaughtered in town for that.
Yeah,
Imagine
literally.
going into town single to a bird. How are we, girl? Got a foozy? Fuck off.
I know, it wouldn't happen, would it?
With all these people who used to have skinheads.
But that's what I mean. Like, do you see the different types of people coming in, or like? So what I'm trying to say is, you're saying you've got different clientele of skinheads, like our fellas. Do you get a mixture in here? You don't really have like one type of person.
Yeah, you get a
Yeah.
massive mixture. I think a lot of it goes on age as well. So like the kids always stick with one thing. Like the big thing the last few years has been like the Ketwigs. They've all sort of died out.
Yeah,
so,
made
yeah,
what they have.
Yeah, they are great. I mean, don't get me wrong, some people do suit them.
Yeah, they do.
They are a bit
depends
crackers,
on it,
like,
isn't
yeah.
it?
And the story behind them and all that's mad. But the big style at them in Liverpool. And to be fair, it was the style just before the Ketwigs. Then the Ketwigs have gone out. There's still a few, but they've mainly gone out. And then this style's come back as, do you know when your fringe starts here and it comes right across? You've had it, haven't you, Jack?
That's what I have, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Where it like skims your eyebrows.
like a comb bowl thing.
Yeah,
like,
but it's got no name, that haircut, and that's been the haircut in Liverpool for a few years, but it's never had a name.
It hasn't.
They just literally just say just above my eyebrows and make sure
Yeah.
I don't leave a gap here, but that's the big style in Liverpool
I know
at the
what you
minute.
mean. Nathan's got one. Nathan dropped us off. He grew his over lockdown and cut it, and he's got it. I was like,
Got that
it
style,
in. He
like,
was like,
yeah.
it's just by chance it happened, lad. But
It's a smart hairstyle.
It is smart.
Yeah, I do like that hairstyle.
you've got to have. It's like a Lego in it. It's like a Lego head. Like
Yeah,
there was a lad
yeah,
in school
yeah.
and he had it, and mine was all floppy, and that if your hair's got to stay in place.
You got similar hair to me, it blows in the wind, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yours like that as well.
Oh,
I'll
my
spend
God.
half an hour doing it when I had long hair, and it'd just
Hairspray
be
and that.
gone. As soon as I go outside, it'd be up in the air. Yeah.
Fucking
I
nightmare.
literally, like, I grew my hair over lockdown and was like, I need to get a cut because my hair can't take this wind anymore. And then I'm going to go one day on my bike or something like that, and one day I'll just go, I'll be bald for life.
Smoke 'em, be gone.
Oh, God.
Oh shit.
Trust me, this isn't a toupee.
Everyone's getting them now, aren't they? What are they called? Toupees, where they get glued on and that.
That's a bigger thing these days. We don't do them in here. We've got a hairdresser next door to us called the Salon, and there's a girl in there called Jill,
And they do them.
she does them, and they are getting more popular.
How do they work then? Do they get glued on? Do you
So-
get your head shaved and glued on?
Yeah, so literally, it's normally lads who are going thin or have gone. If you go in thin,
Yeah,
Take notes here, please.
lads.
get on the phone to Jill.
Book me in for tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll have to re-record this when he's done.
But they like they shave it, yeah. So basically, you look like you've got a Sven Gordon Eriksson. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a proper like egg in the nest or whatever. And then just stick glue on your head, and it's just like a hair piece. It comes. And the mad thing is for me, it's actual real hair. I don't know what country it comes from, but someone's getting scouted in another country for that. That's what I can't get my head
It's
around.
human hair.
It's human hair. It's real hair. It's not
Oh,
fake.
people grow it, don't they? Like that's
People grow it, and
in,
then we'll shave it off for money, but
Yeah,
I just find it mad that you.
it is. Mad,
That's the way it
that.
works, but it is amazing at the same time.
So what? Just shampoo it and that, get in the shower and all sorts. Don't need
Yeah.
a shower cap.
Wash it. Yeah.
How often do you get them put on? Like 8 weeks, something like that, I'd imagine.
You're asking a few too many questions.
You're alright, you know what? You're alright with your hair.
Yeah, man looks sound, doesn't it? Blended.
You're getting research
No,
for
I'm
me.
just 'cause
Ask him off camera, ask him loads of questions about the toothpaste.
thinking of Secret Santa for Jay. but that's what hairstyles are mad, aren't they? Because in
Yeah.
school, lads, you'd be like paranoid when you're like, I've got to fit in, I've got to have this haircut. Whereas now, I think it's just for me that I can get up, get
I
a
think
shower.
times have changed in the city though. I think like
Have they?
Liverpool's a dead naive city. Like you go back 10 years ago, and if you dress different or you had a different hairstyle, you walk past people who walk past you and be like, what's he doing there? Whereas now, I think Liverpool's a bit more like London, like where people don't care.
Yeah,
Just
it's a lot more
do what you
it's a lot
want,
more
yeah.
multicultural now than it,
Yeah,
than it
definitely.
used to be. Definitely,
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not saying more acceptant, but like it's more like, what's the word I'm looking for?
There was a
Yeah.
big thing in Liverpool maybe 10 years ago when we were in school, and I just thought it was because I was in school, but clearly it was a thing of the city of if you're different, it's bad. Whereas
Yeah.
now it's like if it's different, it's good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's the thing with Liverpool, and if you jump on something, if something's bad, it's bad for everyone, and if something's
Yeah.
good, it's good for every scouser in it. Whereas
Yeah.
not, yeah.
And I do think it all stems, like we were saying before, about Lark Lane and that. I think like the South End's completely different to the North End.
Oh, it is. It is, definitely.
But like
Yeah.
the South End's a lot more quirky than our side of Liverpool,
Oh,
isn't it?
I know it is. Like
Yeah.
I go to shop by ours and like 110s are like,
Yeah,
Is it 110's not a thing? They
God, we were on Smith down the other day, and he went, "Do you know what's mad, lads? I've never seen a Johnette."
Literally,
He went to, lad, if I see 110s, I'm like,
through lockdown,
oh, it's a student.
through lockdown, I was just thinking, like, Matt, I've not seen a Johnny for ages. And with the Tesco and like, where was it? I think it was in Tokyo or in Dingle, actually in Dingle on Park Lane, and went through and was seeing about 4 John. I'm just like, whoa, God, they look like.
Made up, lad, yeah.
Definitely, you are right though. I think like, so I think at the same time, like, I think we have our own style, but at the same time, it's like, I think the style of the whole sort of city has changed, and like even the country, I'd say in a way, it's like people like the design and stuff now. Don't they? Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not just like you wouldn't see like lads, like you'd see lads and like on a night out in Hugo Boss trackies and like a top. Do you know what I mean? Now you see people in like designer clothes and that. Do you know what I mean?
But I've got 2 things to say. The first one, I remember you telling me about when we were talking about me going to town when I was about 16, I think 17, and you were saying when you was going to town, everyone just wore all black, didn't they? Like black shirt,
when I
black
first started going on, I was 15
mad.
the first time I went to town.
Where'd you go?
Barber.
Barber, yeah, still
Barber,
there,
Council
going
Square, yeah.
strong.
That was where I used to go from when I was 15. So about 22. Me and the lads grew up in there.
But what, like black shirts, black kecks and that?
Black shoes,
like a waiter?
black belts, shirt tucked in. Yeah.
Everyone though?
Everyone, that was the look.
Is it like two buttons undone and that? Or
Didn't you say
One
girls?
button, that's it, yeah.
Didn't you
No
say
chest hair on show.
gold chain? So I think you told me this. It was like girls would be all done up, different coloured dresses and that, but lads would be just all black.
Just all black.
That's...
The only thing, lads, did different. You had a designer belt. So like back then, the big designer was probably like Machino. So if you had a Machino belt, that was like the one. Some lads would have like Hugo Boss, but that's what the city was like back then. I was only a kid, so I only remember it vaguely, but that's what I remember it being like.
Primark there, and Gucci there.
But was
Flying here.
But was that like bouncers wouldn't let you in, or lads just didn't want to look different to each other? What was that? Like, if you went out in a pink shirt, would they be like, not tonight, mate?
Yeah, I just think like it was just the way of the city.
It's mad,
it's like even now. I mean, times have changed again in the last few years. But if you go back a few years ago, you still see Liverpool now. Lads just wear all black. Whereas if you go somewhere like Newcastle, lads wear multicolours and stuff like that. Liverpool is changing in that sense, isn't it?
Definitely.
But like everyone, like I just think it's a thing in the city. Black's always been a thing, hasn't it?
Yeah,
but even at that age as well, at the same time, it's like, I'm 16, how do I get into somewhere? We're all black. Everyone else does, you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing as well.
But a shirt, suit pants and shit flickers. Like
this was about 15 years ago.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, but you wouldn't do that now. But like back then, that's how fashions changed. Don't they?
Yeah.
No one probably cared about the hair back then.
And you couldn't get in anywhere in trainees, and trainees are accepted now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Some places
In
can't.
places like
I used to have I don't really buy one cent anymore, but I used to have a going to
Not since you
Largo.
moved to South
I was going to say, yeah. I was thinking that then.
left them all in Bootle.
I went to Largo once and it was like 7 o'clock and this fella come to go, listen mate, you're going to have to go at 9. I went, I probably will be gone by now anyway, but you mind me asking why? He went, because your shoes. I went,
Jack 110s on?
I went, am I causing any trouble? And he went, no. I was like, why is 110s on? He was like, am I causing any trouble? He was like, no. And I was like, what's the issue? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a company policy. I'm like, fair dues.
It's like COVID, lad, it comes out after 10. They're thinking, oh, he turns after 9 and then.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
That's the worst.
EA7 tracksuit top comes out after 9.
But it's mad though, because like, so back then, did everyone have a skinhead? Was that just a thing? No one.
Skinheads, yeah.
Yeah. So, how would it work? Would you go for your haircut in the morning, like, I'm going out tonight, but you get a skinhead? Would people get their haircut by the mad, do it themselves, or would people still?
No, people go on the barbers. Do you know what I was thinking about this? Yeah, listen, I was thinking about this yesterday, and this isn't a thing anymore. But when I first started cutting hair, I was working in Waterloo, as I say. And I don't know if it was just a thing in Waterloo or different parts of Liverpool or what, but people used to come in and get like say like a 1 back and sides, a 2 or a 3 on top, but they used to get a fringe with a 2 or a 3.
I remember that.
And like,
Proper Phil Foden fringe,
it just didn't make any sense. Like, it was like, why was you on a fringe with a 2 or 3? But back then it was a thing.
I remember
when I was cutting hair, like when I was learning, I remember thinking like, why was you on a fringe with a 2 or 3? But it was a thing back then, do you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Just it's at the time.
It's all about the fringe now, isn't it? Like, it's all about the fringe now.
You mean a straight fringe like that, don't you? Like,
yeah, it was like cut in. So you'd have a 2 or 3, and then like little bits hanging out. And like, I mean, it's like a
man was like that though. But my dad was like, chose what I had. Do you know what I mean? I go to barbers, I'd be like, what are you having, lad? And my dad would be like, 2 and 3 with a fringe. Yeah.
This is what his master is getting. This is what he's getting. So I remember my dad took me. I used to have the bowl, like it used to swoosh. It was silky. You know what I mean? Like it was a 90s kid.
Wilson do that, yeah.
Nah, I mean like I'll get a picture to put under here because my mum will have it on her phone. It was all the same length, shiny. I look good, lad. It was just a 90s.
I look good.
No, I'm not saying.
I love self-confidence, lads.
I'm not saying, like, at the time I thought I looked good. There was 5 or 6. But when I look at photos, I'm like, that's just 90s, you know what I mean? But I remember, our kid always got a skinhead, always had. And I was like, I want a skinhead. That's what I want. And my dad was like, you sure? And I cried for the skinhead. And then my ma, he brought me in, and as soon as I walked through the door, my ma was just slammed the door shut.
So like the
I
same
cut
thing.
all that off. Been growing it for years.
Fuming.
I'm like, fuming though, yeah. And my dad was like, every time I'd ask for another haircut after that, he'd be like, your ma said you're getting a 1 and a 2. That's it. Or you're getting a 1 and a 7. Or
My ma, like, with my ma and dad, like, specifically when I was younger, and it was like, my mum would get me a haircut to come and, like, but I had never had my haircut, and then my dad to go with my dad, and I'd end up having a skinhead, basically. And then my mum would be like, oh, dad's a tit, getting your head off like that, do you know what I mean?
going into school every week with a different bar. What's the maddest haircut you've cut, lad, or you've ever been at? Has anyone ever got a picture out?
Yeah, this isn't. I'll tell you one before I tell you mine. But Ryan, who works for us, he's probably had the maddest one I've heard. So some lads came in when he worked in town years ago, and he showed him a picture of a cartoon and said, "Can you do that, mate?" And he said, "It was like, do you know, like those Japanese cartoons where it's like proper spicy? Can you do that?" And Ryan said, "I just looked at him and just thought, like,
nah.
You're not a cartoon, mate." But I think for myself, like,
I remember someone saying they had a picture of Torres. Was it you? They went into the barbers with a picture and it was Torres. Like,
I used to go with Gerard, like.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah.
I'd say probably the most popular, like, famous person we've had over the years, sort of request, was the Gary Barlow when he started on X Factor.
Oh yeah.
Was
Like,
he, yeah?
literally, there was a lad who comes in.
Yeah, like
from
combed over,
the
didn't he?
Dars
Yeah.
or from young lads?
From loads, from different
really,
ages,
yeah.
yeah. So as soon as we went on X Factor, because he had like probably a 1 on the sides, like a dead short comb over,
Yeah.
and loads of lads were coming in asking for it. And I won't mention the lad's name who comes in because data protection and all that. Gotta be that careful here, like.
Yeah.
But like, he was that embarrassed to sort of like
To ask for the Gary Barlow.
To ask for Gary Barlow. He used to say, "Hey, can I have a GB, lad?"
Yeah.
That's what he used to ask for, like.
And then did you just start coming in winking at you?
Yeah,
You know what
GB, you know what it is,
GB,
lads.
The middle-aged fellas went at the wad going, Gary Barlow, nice to that, doesn't he? You should get your hair done like him.
Do you know what? If he's watching this, he knows you're on about him.
Yeah, he knows I'm fully on about him. Yeah, I won't say his name.
Yeah,
But
GDPR.
say it, we'll keep it out. That's probably the maddest one I've had. But the other maddest one, again, when I worked in Waterloo, I don't think I've got many stories from Maghull. Just Waterloo, like, this fella sat in my chair once. I was like, "Hiya, mate, you're all right, put the gown on." I was like, "What are you having done?" And he goes, "I just want one hair off." And I went, I was only a kid at the time, I was like,
One
18.
hair?
One hair. And I went, "Sorry, mate, what do you mean one hair?" He said, "I just want this hair off," and pulled one hair up. And I looked at him and I was like,
not got
"Why do you just want that hair?" And he just took the gown off himself and walked out. And it was just the weirdest thing ever.
What?
Just dead strange, you know what I mean?
Left more questions than answers for you. Yeah.
Like he was sent to send a message or something, and they swerved the message last minute and just decided to like take the mick. I don't know, it was just
That's
dead
mad,
weird, like,
that.
yeah.
But going back to the actual barbershop as well, one thing we've noticed in like
Plants.
plants, yeah, you are a vegan. Is it a vegan barbershop or you just a vegan barber? Does the whole place?
Both.
Whole shop's vegan.
Yeah.
So 2017 we changed the shop to Son of a Barber, and then I went vegan in the August. I've been a veggie
You've always
since,
been veggie, haven't you?
yeah, since I was a kid. Since I say 3 or 4, like, type of thing, because my mum used to give me meat on my plate, and then I brush it to one side, and then she realised
You
I
just didn't like it, no?
Yeah, so she just said, "Yeah, I'll just give you veg or whatever." And then over the years she tried to feed me meat, and I just didn't like that. It's just the smell and like the thought in my head. And then
2010, Mike told me this, lad, and he told me he'd never had Haribo, or he doesn't have Haribo. I was like, what?
Jealous of it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But then that was unusual in 2010. Now it's commonplace,
that's
isn't
common.
it?
Well,
Yeah.
Avon Ramsey's just changed all their sweets to vegan.
Have
Or
they?
something
Yeah.
like that, I'm sure they have. Or they brought out vegan ones or whatever. Well, the world has changed in that sense.
Yeah.
I
Definitely
reckon
changed.
it's going to be like, I remember seeing a thing apparently in like McDonald's in 2030 have planned for like 70% of the menu to be vegan.
Do you know why that is, though? Because it's cheaper and they can mass produce it, like the fake meats.
Oh,
and
of
that.
course,
It's still not
of
healthy.
yeah.
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 It won't be healthy, yeah.
Yeah, being vegan does like loads of people. I think they think like when you say you're vegan,
That it's
you're
healthy,
automatically
yeah, I know.
But veganism, if you're a vegan, you just care about animals. If you're plant based, you're healthy. So there's 2 different sorts of
I
sides.
put
to it.
on the story today, a plant-based barbers, and loads of like vegan Liverpool accounts that I didn't even think followers. I don't know how they found the story. Replied saying, "I'm curious as to why he's plant-based and not vegan, but it's vegan innit?" I've mistyped that.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
vegan
yeah.
is like everything toward the leather on this chair to like
Faux.
Everything.
It's
Yeah,
faux,
yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
Faux leather.
It's faux
And
leather.
What made you make that decision, sort of? Because in 2017 it was probably a thing, but is it as prominent as it is now in a way?
I just like because what it was, I turned vegan. Literally a month before I turned vegan, I bought myself a Focus, and it has all leather seats in, and then I was just questioning myself, like, why have I got leather seats?
Yeah.
But I couldn't get rid of the car straight away.
So do you do the... Sorry, mate. Is it for animals or health why you do it, or you just don't like meat, or what? Is it everything, really?
Yeah, so when it first started, the reason I went vegan in the first place, I was veggie, and I was on Facebook all the time, and that, do you know, have you seen PETA? Protection animal, I always forget what it stands for, and they kept flashing up, and I'm one of them people, I don't know if you're like me, if you see something on the internet you can't help but look at it, so I've got to watch everything. And I remember seeing like some horrendous things what they shared, but again, I say it's horrendous, it's the truth, isn't it? They're just high. Some people would say it's horrendous. I've just said it's horrendous.
The shock factor.
It's a shock factor.
It's horrendous that it's happening.
Yeah, that's it. So it was just playing on my mind, all these bits and bobs, and I was trying to put it at the back of my head. I thought, nah, being a veggie, Sam, there's not wrong with milk. There's not wrong with cheese. So then I went to Gusto with my birds in town, and there was like this little thing on the table. What a gaff, yeah. The garlic bread in there. Yeah, that's vegan as well in there.
Calamari.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but the fillet steak.
We'll beat that out.
It is a gaff though, isn't it?
It is a gaff, yeah. The way they've got the stairs and like into the toilets and that. The way
I've not been, you know.
Haven't you?
Not been?
I'm probably gonna have to go soon, like.
Lad,
Yeah.
It's like
the garlic bread.
for the location, the interior, the quality of food. When you get the bill, you're like, wow, that's sad.
It's not even expensive, is it?
It's like double that for what it is.
Yeah.
Boss.
Yeah, it's a proper nice gaff.
But go on, you went to Gusto.
So we went to Gusto anyway. So there's like, do you know, you leave like the little triangles on the table with like, normally it just sort of like says the specials or whatever. So I was just sort of sitting there, birds on a phone and reading away. So it just said, if you're a vegetarian, please let our waiters or waitresses know, as some of our cheeses contain rennet. And I remember at the time I had an iPhone 3, I think it was it wouldn't be a 3GS, it was like a 5, whatever. And I remember like Googling it, what is rennet? And it turns out rennet's the lining of a calf's stomach. I was thinking, that's in cheese, that's like...
it's unnecessary,
that's messy, like it's unnecessary, isn't it?
Yeah.
So straight away, I was just put off cheese instantly. So the girl came over, she was like, what do you like? And I was just like, can I just have a tomato pasta? So I just get the tomato pasta. So it goes home, and I'm thinking like, I didn't know too much about it sounds crackers because I was a veggie, but veganism at the time, it wasn't mad. Yeah. And even being a veggie, I really didn't know much about veganism.
Yeah.
So then... goes home and I'm trying to sort of like carry on eating cheese and I'm just thinking I can't eat this. So then I used to live off like plain omelettes, rice and like a bit of broccoli. So my mum cooks it for me one night and I'm sitting there and I'm just eating this omelette and I just started balking and I thought I can't do this anymore. Like, what's wrong with me? So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to try and go with this vegan thing, see what the script is. So then I just basically turned vegan overnight like that. And like, it was just one of them things. And then as time went on, I sort of started thinking, well, if I'm going to be vegan, I may as well go the full hog and like stop wearing leather, change all my like my skin products and whatever else, and just like completely cut it out of my life. And then that's when it sort of like
come into the shop.
Yeah, because people were saying to me, well, you use some products that like at the time we using American Crew, and I was thinking I didn't know if they had like.
I remember you was using them.
Yeah.
That putty they used to have in that
stuff like that. Like American Crew has like I think like things like beeswax and things like that in it. And again, like. People don't realise, but a lot of people think honey's vegan, but honey's not vegan.
No, it's still an animal
that's another story. Like, it's an animal product, isn't it? Yeah. Insects and animals at the end of the day.
It's quite natural though, that's the thing about honey, isn't it? Like, it's a natural animal product, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
I remember Googling it, and is honey vegan? And all the articles were, this is a dividing topic amongst vegans.
It's like milk. It's like milk.
Some vegans say, no, it is
It's
vegan.
like milk for cows though, isn't it? It's like, it is a natural product at the same time.
No, I think it's
no, but like,
milk is...
No, but milk is produced by cows, the same way bees is produced by... honey is produced by bees, do you know what I mean?
What came first, the honey or the bee?
Sugar.
No, but I like what you're saying though, the way it's just kind of come into the shop, because you know Nat, she owns the Nakery.
Yeah, I've watched your podcast with her,
So, yeah, we've had
been
her
in
on.
shop loads of times.
Yeah, but it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
She's a wizard. She's a witch making cakes and that.
I used to go to her when she was on Bold Street.
Yeah, in
like
the little petticoat.
Yeah.
But it's funny you mention that because she wasn't vegan then, and like she's kind of... She went into the vegan plant-based kind of herself and the business because people were asking for it, and then the more she started to find out about it, the more she rebranded, similar to you, rebranded, and then like.
So did she like do something that had like vegetarian?
She was still using like honey and certain like I don't think she wasn't using creams and stuff, but she was using like stuff that wasn't vegan. She said, and then
it's like honey. I think honey was one of the main things.
Yeah, one of the main things, and then she kind of had that. I think she was veggie at the time. I don't know, I might be wrong, but she had like an overhaul of the brand, a business and herself, because then she started eating plant-based as well. And like it's a similar story to yourself. Just the more she found out, same as you, the more you found out about it, it was like...
Yeah, it does fall off, and I don't know, it's not for everyone. I'd love to think it was for everyone being vegan, but some people just generally they're just not interested. But the more you do look into it, your head just falls off when you start realising certain things.
So do you know the actual like barbershop? How did that change when the shop turned vegan? What sort of was
All
it?
your products really.
Was it a small change or was was it a big
Just
change? Did you find?
minimalistic stuff.
Yeah.
So like I never wanted it to be out there that I was a vegan barbershop because the word vegan straight away it scares people
I was
away.
going to ask you that. Do you think
There's a stigma
still,
around the word? There
it
literally is a
still
stigma.
like vegan or like vegans offended. Like I remember that was a meme, but is that still? No.
I think it's still got a bit of a. I think it's more accepted these days, but I think it's still got a bit of a stigma. to it.
People sort of like don't frown upon it. They're a bit like, oh,
Yeah.
bloody vegans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I seen a meme the other day and it was like all people at a funeral gathered around the coffin and it's like, does anyone want to say anything? And this girl was like, I'm vegan. And like that's kind of like the stick they used to get vegans.
Yeah.
But like, is that still?
Do you know what it is, right? So this sounds crap. I was thinking about this the other day. So when you first turn vegan, you go through a few stages. When you first turn vegan, you're angry at everyone. You're like,
Because they're not vegan.
Because you're not vegan, and you find out, and you're like thinking, like, how does the world not know about this? And you want to let the world know about like what's wrong with everything.
Shouting it, yeah.
And then you're shouting it, and I remember when I first went vegan, it was constant like arguing with my mum. And then I remember it just like, wow, I'm sick of this, Michael. Every night, blah 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 blah.
I just
blah.
want to eat my cheese.
Yeah. Just leave me alone, type of thing. And like you're just angry because. Again, I'm not pushing my beliefs onto any years, and I never do this in the shop, by the way. I don't push my beliefs onto anyone, type of thing. You sit in my chair, listen, mate, are you vegan? No, mate. We will be in a sec.
Can you take them shoes off before you
you're just angry at everyone because you start realising what's going on in the world. And I think when you're an animal lover like me, like, again, I'm not trying to put views on you, but people say they're animal lovers, and I believe, like, if you like animals and dogs, I genuinely believe you're animal lovers. But until you find out about veganism, you're not particularly an animal lover, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
because
there's a level of compassion that comes with vegan.
There is, yeah. And again, like Natu, you said, who's got an acre, she'll probably tell you the same as me. And
she said to me, it was like she realised it was just you can shout about it, but you burn yourself out. It's all about leading from example, innit? Like, do you want to know about this? Because it's like when you see people preaching in town about religion, you're like, I know all the major world religions. I'll come and find you if I need to find you. It's the same with vegan now. I think everyone, if someone told you they don't eat animal products, I don't think you'd be shocked nowadays. 10 years ago or 20 years ago, it'd be like,
You still do get the same questions though. People do say to you, like when you are vegan,
where'd you get your protein from?
Yeah, stuff like that. Like,
it's a mad question.
Like, you can get like that question. Like, there's so much stuff you can get protein off. Do you know what I mean? There's like tofu, beans, spinach, kale, everything.
Tofu, what's that?
Or beans, legumes, lentils, everything. It's mad, isn't it?
Well, like, when I went, like, I'm plant-based now, but I started to yourself like veggie.
Plant-based now?
He's only messing plant-based, lad. You're not plant-based.
I am, lad.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I am.
You had a chicken bazooka 3 weeks ago.
3 days ago? What did I say?
Nah, he is plant-based.
I am plant-based, but I have first like started off veggie, but I used to work on Total Fitness over there, funny enough, and like everyone there's like pure protein punks, do you know what I mean? Blah, blah, like, do you know what I mean? Everyone's like, where you getting your protein, bro? I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And one of the PTs in there, very clued up on his nutrition.
Protein punks.
really clued up on his nutrition. I was like, you need to be eating corn daily. I was like, I don't want to eat corn daily, do you know what I mean? I'd rather eat a bit of broccoli or something like that, do you know what I mean? But like, for me, it started off, somebody got in my head and I went veggie, and then I was like, then I started looking into it more and was like, plant-based is more. And I got benefit. You feel the benefits of it, do you know what I mean? And people like,
100%.
people say to me, oh, you look really good. How come you look really good? Oh, I'm plant-based. And like, well, you getting your protein, bro, do you know what I mean?
That's the first question people ask. But here's one for you. Have you ever known a vegan who's been admitted to hospital because they're protein deficient? It's just not a thing.
No, it is not, yeah.
People do get confused.
One thing I am conscious of is there's obviously, not that there's not negative health benefits to eating meat. The most, like, it depends on your quality of anything, but I can get behind veganism and plant-based for...
You're not mind just around you, lads.
Yeah, no, I love it, and most
you're a flexitarian.
No, lad, I don't put a label on my diet because I'll just eat what I want when I want. Do you know what I mean? For myself.
That's a big thing. People say I'm not putting a label on.
I know what I'm doing for me, and I think as long as you know what you're doing, that's fine.
It's not about being plant-based, vegan, veggie, meat eater. It's being about more conscious about what you're eating, putting in your body. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
What I'm getting to there, though, is like, so in the 80s, 90s, all athletes, and even still, top athletes now eat meat. I'm not saying there isn't negative health benefits to it, but I do feel like veganism is pushed as like, oh, aren't you vegan? It's like, you probably don't even know anything about it yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've been there myself, but thinking, oh, you need to be vegan. I feel like it's like the trend to be vegan without like, not from the animal point of view, that is 100%, but from the health side, I think you can eat meat and plant-based. Do you know what I mean?
I started off being more health. It was more health orientated. Like, rather than animal load. But my sort of argument was like, if I stop eating meat, am I having that much of an effect on the environment, on stuff like that? But it's like if 10,000 people said, oh, I'm not having an effect, it does over the larger scheme of things. You know what I mean?
And I do think the whales would be vegan ones. Like,
I do think
when
so.
I say the whales, I think the Western whales. I think the likes of like the Far East. I don't think you'd ever change their way of life. I mean, you've seen probably from China.
But that's I think in like villages in like, so let's say Thailand or Vietnam, I've been to those two places.
It's a different
in
world there,
places where they eat meat, they rear the cattle and eat it. That's sustainable. I think that's
a healthy way to eat meat. That's what I mean. Yeah.
Besides the
cruelty
side of it, I can get behind it 100% for that. But eating meat, we've been eating meat for how long? Do you know what I mean? As a species. But the way the Western world consume meat, I'm not for that. Like, that's it's just gross. Do you know what I mean? It's just waste and it's just excess.
Going back to the protein side of a vegan,
these protein pumps.
I don't think there's much of a.
Can't wait to tell people the protein pumps. You just squeeze.
I can just imagine all the fellas with mohawks or something like that. Like that.
Mate. What's your bench, bro? No, but like, I don't think there's much studies about. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger's vegan now. Yeah, there's quite a few big athletes.
Well, I can name 3 top athletes off the top of my head. Who are all not, one's vegan, 2 are plant-based. Serena Venus Williams are both plant-based. Lewis Hamilton's vegan, plant-based.
Yeah, it's like the argument is though, was the muscle built up from eating vegan products? Do you know what I mean? And plant-based products. It was built up from eating. There's just an argument that goes on. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's my
just playing devil's advocate.
I'm just the middleman. It's like there's not much of an argument against like that. Actually, plant-based can actually build your muscle up and like make you like that. Whereas like the athletes, like you're saying now, have started on a carnivore diet, if you want to say that.
Yeah. One thing I'm sorry to interrupt. You finished?
No. Yeah. Well, I am now.
But yeah, good. No, but one thing so I just think as long as. I hate this phrase, but it's a good. You do you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you do what you want to do. I'm not gonna say to you why don't you eat meat. Just as long as you don't say to me why do you eat meat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it depends on the approach. So a lot of people don't even know. Like, we're quite on it. Like, oh yeah, there's cruelty to animals. Did you know that?
Yeah.
This deforestation for this causes this. Most people don't even know that.
Well, I've said to a lot of people that I speak to, like, if they want to start quizzing me on like being vegan, I say, listen, watch these like 4 documentaries. You've got like
and then I'll talk.
Dominion,
Cowspiracy,
Earthlings, Cowspiracy,
What the Health,
and there's a ton of those
I don't drink cow's milk like cause of Cowspiracy, because I just realised, why would you ever want to drink another thing's milk?
People, would you drink
your bird's breast? You wouldn't drink your bird's breast milk, would you?
Would you drink a random woman who was pregnant, who's just had a baby in the streets, breast milk, even if it had been filtered?
Nah, it's bizarre to drink another animal's milk. No other animal on the planet does that.
No,
like,
I think we're the only species.
That's what I mean. It's
like
insane. It's insane.
It's like, if you think about it, like a lot of people like aren't aware of it. Like, oat milk is so nice.
It's so much nicer. Like, it's
yeah.
Do you think cow's milk will die out, or do you think it's cheaper? Do you think that's where it comes from? Because obviously it's all about price, isn't it? Like,
yeah, I do think. I think we're years away from it. Like you were saying before, I do think though, cow's milk might be a thing, or it might become an expensive thing because the demands. What it is with sort of cow's milk and meat,
like liquid gold.
Like liquid gold. So say for example, like now, have you seen that program on the telly? I think I was telling you about this the other day when I was cutting your hair, and there's this fella in America, in San Francisco, and basically now what he can do, and he's a vegan, this fella. I personally wouldn't eat this type of food because it's not vegan in my head, but he's vegan and he's convinced it's vegan because it's not harming animals. So he's got the technology now. He can get a chicken's feather, put it in this machine, replicate the DNA from it over and over again, and he can grow a chicken breast in a machine from its DNA. It's like Frankenstein stuff.
But is that good for you? Like,
No, that is not good for you. Again, that's like the vegan side where plant-based is healthy, raw vegan's healthy, but
or
vegan,
whole foods, there's levels
whole
to it, isn't
foods,
it? Organic whole foods.
Raw whole food vegan, organic.
It's the
It's the
ultimate.
healthy, it's the ultimate, yeah. I'd love to be at that level, but I like bread and I don't think I'll ever be at that level type of thing.
Like a pizza.
Like a pizza.
Organic food is expensive though. You got to pay a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? If you got everything organic,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, but it's just
it's hard to come by as well. I think a lot of places don't like. Luckily enough, by mine, I have that picture of the purple carrot. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I've been to payable carrot quite a few times.
I always
Like,
pick organic
got-
up if it's there, like
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you go to like
little.
convenience sales, if you know what I mean, like if you go in the Tesco Metro, the Lidl, or like
No,
that.
Lidl have organic.
What?
Lidl do organic.
No, they do. But like if you go in like the little Tesco's, the little Asda's, stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that,
Yeah.
they don't really have the organic stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's like convenience-wise, like if I can get spinach on the Cormy Road, which is non-organic, or walk 10 minutes down the road, you better believe I'm not getting the non-organic one. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but if they were next to each other in the Tesco,
yeah, of
I'd
course,
pick the organic,
yeah, of course, like
Yeah.
That's the world we live in, though, isn't it? It's just we live in a convenience culture.
Yeah.
Like we
the
just
whole
want what's
reason
there.
behind like people go mad over organic and not organic, things that aren't organic are sprayed with pesticides, aren't
Yeah.
they? And the reason behind that, again, it's just profits, isn't it? So when we were in lockdown, I started my own veg patch, and we had about, say, this long much of like spinach and about that wide or whatever, and every single week you could cut it and you'd have a full bag of spinach. And then I noticed that like little obviously bugs are like eating away at it, and all I did to stop them bugs eating away at it, I just pulled a couple of sort of like spinach leaves off it, left them around the edges, and then the bugs were sort of eating those little
staying off
leaves,
the
and
plant.
then they were staying off the plant.
Yeah.
But obviously big companies, they're not gonna,
They don't care.
they don't care, do you know
So
what
is
I mean?
pesticides in plant-based then, is that more it's harming the pests, or is it because you're getting chemicals in your body as well, or is it
mixture of
both?
both.
It's
innit?
both, yeah. So the whole point is obviously to keep the pests off.
No, but I mean, do you know when people go for organic because they're vegan and plant-based, is that because they don't want harm coming to the insects?
Maybe a
Or-
bit of both.
Yeah.
Because I probably sound like a hypocrite here. Probably loads of vegans be fuming we were saying this, but there is levels to veganism where I am a vegan, but it's hard to be the perfect vegan. So to be the perfect vegan, you'd have to constantly go organic. You wouldn't drive a car because when you're driving a car, you're gonna hit bugs in the air. Do you know, sort of like,
Yeah.
do you know where I'm coming from, type of thing?
It's next level. That, don't you?
Jeans and
Yeah.
like belts and everything
Yeah.
like that. Like, do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you can obviously it's good to be vegan and not use a plant-based product, but sometimes like you're buying that products and not even knowing about it. Do you know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
it's just what I love about it, right, is the education. So I love, I never knew that was for that. Like, I found out one of our mates, his girlfriend is vegan, and she informed me that she asked for a vegan wine, and I was like, oh, what's that about? And then I was like, was that a thing? Isn't wine like
Fish guts?
fish
yeah.
and sheep stomach, isn't it?
I don't know what wine, but I know with certain beers, like with Les, who's gave us the Neptune Brewery beers.
Can number one.
gonna have another
I know
sip.
with sort of like a lot of like these real ales, they use this thing called isinglass, and they basically slice a fish open. I don't know if it's a fish bladder or it's a part of a fish, and during the process they drop it in this part of the fish, and it like separates something. It does something to it. So again, that obviously makes it not vegan.
Yeah.
But obviously with modern technology now, you've got machines that can do it.
Yeah.
Like Guinness, literally 2 years ago went vegan because they were going off like a 300-year-old like
Recipe.
manufacturing way. But obviously they realised it's 2000s and whatever. We may as well go vegan. But some people still do it that way. Like
I think it's always going to be there, and I think it's like kind of spreading into the West, innit, veganism, and
Yeah, definitely.
I
It's
think
it's
there'll
all
always
these
be-
huge things, like,
I
it's
just
all
think
these
like
huge things.
as long as you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, do you know what I mean? And you're
Yeah.
aware of what you put in it. I catch myself now because I've only been on this for probably about 2 years now, like
Yeah.
awareness of it, and like I do eat meat,
yeah.
but I choose not to. I'm like, no. But like, it's just I'm more conscious of what I'm eating. Like, no, I don't want that chicken in a packet. Like, I don't eat. When I'm cooking myself, I don't cook with meat. The only time I will eat meat is when I'm out, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, what like that.
See, I'm seeing that with more people, though.
That Cubano sandwich does sound heavy with the pastrami and that, you know, just something like
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
And even still, I'm weaning away from that. If there's a belted vegan option, I'm gonna go for that. But I don't cook with meat. Everything I cook is vegan, plant based.
Yeah.
Everything I cook is plant-based, but like, for example, if like, I'm trying to think of something here, like if I went to, sometimes I might pick up a butty with a bit of mayonnaise on, do you know what I mean?
It's got egg in it.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of egg in or a
yeah.
bit of milk or whatever, and like, I cook vegan, but like, sometimes it's hard to escape it, do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
go into some place and you're like, where's the vegan options, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they don't have the option, but...
It's like it's almost like
He does it if it's convenient. We'll cut that out. No, but you do, don't you? Like, I think if someone got you a scran and went, yeah, I've got you this, you just eat it like, oh, it's got a bit of mayo on it, but do you know what I mean? Like, if I picked you a butty up which had something on it, you go, oh.
I'm more conscious for the meat. I'd like,
or the
so they went,
bevies. You'd drink any bevy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, if it gets me
Like, would
pissed.
you drink Red Stripe?
Not a
Red Stripe's not vegan. Yeah, that's what it is, a rave.
Yeah,
Bevy,
it's
isn't
a
it? Like,
rave bevy, yeah, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't sit in ours after camp. Is
Yeah.
are you going to tell me something about Red Stripe here?
It's not vegan. They use a single ash in the process.
Oh, do they, yeah?
Yeah. That's the only commercial lager I know that's not vegan.
Oh, so they're all vegan, yeah?
Yeah.
What I think, is that because it's cheaper to be vegan? Because loads of like snacks and sweets and chocolate are accidentally vegan. I've seen this.
Oreos.
This thread,
But then
yeah.
you've got to decide if that Oreo's got palm oil in, and it's not sustainable
Yeah,
palm oil.
that's-
So again, it's how vegan are you in that sense, like.
Yeah, how much do you care about the planet? If
Yeah,
it's got
because palm oil is it's a
palm oil.
terrible
I
thing.
wrote a project
Yeah.
on palm oil in uni. Like,
It's horrendous, isn't it?
It's
My,
insane. Starbucks used to be bad for it, didn't they? And then they
Iceland
cut
as
it
well.
out.
They
Iceland,
cut it all out. haven't they?
My mum lives in Thornton, and she used to take the dogs like in the morning to Crosby Beach in Barber Bank. Walk down the front, and you're on the way where all the bricks are from Bootle and from like the Blitz, and like all the bricks are at
With
the
the
front.
trains and that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the dog ran down there, and like the sea must have come in, and the palm oil off the ships must have come out. Do you know what I mean? And there's this big
Oh, it's
block.
poisonous for dogs, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's poisonous for dogs. So my mum must have seen it, but like that and was like, what's it doing? And like weren't aware of it. So next thing you know, she went home and the dog was upstairs. It's like on the bed because she had a little light on or something. And next thing the dog was like being sick, and all this black like muggy stuff come out, and it went through the quilt, through the like the protector on top, and through the mattress. It stained the mattress. They took it to vet. They were like, you're lucky they threw it up. If it would have had in its system for another say 12 hours, do you know what I mean? They could have died. Do you know what I mean?
It's mad, isn't
So
it?
it's bad. It's
And
bad
that's
to
in
you,
your
like
scran
yeah.
and that, but like it's in hair stuff, isn't it? And in like skin stuff,
everywhere.
it's everywhere,
Yeah.
isn't it? I
So
just think it's being aware that like most, if you're buying something that's like cheap or convenient, just have a look what's in it. And that's what I
Yeah.
think is like, do
Try
I?
as conscious as possible.
Yeah,
Like, I
definitely.
know, like, you aren't going to walk away from here and be vegan like me. I know that for a fact, but I think if people can do as much as they can, that's it. It's a start, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
think
like
it's just
to say like it's not about being go vegan now. Just
Yeah,
be
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
conscious. Do you know what I mean?
Be more
That's
what
conscious,
you're
like,
putting
yeah.
in. Just and
Yeah.
I also, since I've been like this, like I feel 100 times better. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not even vegan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm just eating healthier. I'm just eating
Yeah.
newer foods. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It is.
And things are changing. I mean, things like, say you go for a curry now. I mean, I'm not into, like, I don't eat meat, things that are like meat replicas, so I wouldn't eat corn or anything that's meant to be like meat, because the thought of meat in my head is, well, why would you want to eat something
Death.
like flesh? It just knocks me sick.
said
You
that
don't
to
like the
us.
taste of it, do you?
Ethan,
Yeah.
do you know Ethan and Jack from Health and Wellbeing?
Are they like that as well?
No, what they said was, I think it's Sadhguru, I think his name is, he was talking about meat. And he said, when you think of meat, you're eating something that's dead. Like, so it's dead, it's decaying, it's rotten.
Yeah.
Why would you want to put that in you when you could eat something like
Like
you cut a
broccoli,
broccoli
yeah.
that's alive, it's
Yeah.
vibrant, it's full of colour, it's full of life, you
Yeah.
put it in you. And when he said that, I was like, that's right.
It is right, though, isn't
I
it?
had an
Still eat meat,
argument. I had an argument with one of the protein punks in Total Fitness, and he was saying like humans are designed to eat meat, and I was like,
Tell
I
me five
like
ways.
fair dues. And he
I
was
don't
like,
agree
your
with
teeth
that.
are made for it. I was like, I had this conversation with my mate.
Got flat teeth.
My mate went,
Flat teeth, yeah.
yeah, but are your teeth designed to eat a cow from the side, bite a chunk out of it, or cook meat? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
not like this. You're not designed to eat raw flesh.
People go, I've got molars. If you look at human teeth, they're proper carnivore teeth.
Yeah.
We're just not unlike them.
No.
We've got teeth closer to like proper herbivores, like giraffes and things that go side to side.
Yeah.
Even though ours goes like both ways, we have got teeth. We're omnivores, aren't we, at the end of the day?
What I think though is each person's different. Like you could be allergic to something I'm allergic to. So like your body, you might be able to stay in vegan, plant-based. I might not be able to sustain that. There might be something I'm getting somewhere else. Do you know? Or like,
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's.
Yeah.
I don't mean specifically meat, just diet. Do you know what I mean? Like
was
everyone.
saying it, which
What?
she was vegan and like she was missing out on fish oils when she had an omega-3 off like not eating meat, so she
Yeah.
had to like bring fish into her diet more.
Well, but this is
Yeah.
it's a good job you mentioned that because she's come out as I'm not vegan anymore. And I
Who's
think
this?
Miley Cyrus.
Oh, yeah.
And- On the Joe Rogan podcast, he was saying, he was like, oh, big move that, because you're just going to get slaughtered by these vegans now that you're not
Yeah.
vegan. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're like her, she's a public figure and you're
Yeah.
not vegan, then it's people pull you down and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like if you're not vegan, you're not doing it right. And I don't
Yeah.
like that. I don't like
Yeah.
that side of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like At the
But
end
I
of
do
the day,
think you
like,
should be vegan. But
Yeah.
you shouldn't be. It's like cancel culture if you're not vegan. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think anyway.
yeah, you're all right there. It's not about sitting there and preaching your point. It's just like just being more aware. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One thing I wanted to ask you, like, Joe, about being vegan as well. What in the shop did you have to change to become vegan?
He sacked everyone who ate meat.
Just hires a loads of hippies and vegans.
Can't wear shoes, socks off.
If he's got hair over his neck, he's definitely get the job.
So it was like, obviously, like it is one for you. So the chairs, I bought the chairs off this company called REM, and they were the last thing I wanted to change, and I was stressing over the leather. So I was going to pay some fella £400 a chair, so like it would have been 4 times 5, £2,000 to reupholster them, because it would have been pointless buying new chairs. And I thought, I'm not sure if these are leather, so I rang REM and I was like, listen, I bought these chairs in this year. I said, what's the script? Are they leather or is it fake leather? And they were like, we've never ever used leather on any of our products. So straight away, saved me out £2,000. Like, that's what's made up with that.
Good job you rang up.
And then, good job I rang up.
Imagine finding out as soon as you finish it.
£2,000 down the Swanee Lake. I was sniffing them. Yeah, he's definitely out there. Like, yeah, these are sandies. So there was that. Hair products. Obviously we give out drinks. So I used to do like Budweiser. Made sure that was vegan. We do Sol now. Oat milk. All the coffee that we could see that we give out, it's all sort of organic. We give biscuits out to kids. We used to give like lollipops, but obviously lollipop biscuit heavy. Can I have one if you want?
Take a photo of them, man. I love a biscuit.
2.
mate.
Biscuits are heavy, like.
I only want one.
And England lost the Ashes.
This guy here has got a litre tub of Biscoff in his cupboard.
Do you love them all? I'm alright.
I opened the cupboard to make a cup of tea the other week. I was like, I love
Biscuits
that.
are heavy, yeah, heavy.
You can eat it off a spoon, Biscoff.
So what's the difference? Is like, if you cut my hair with non-vegan products compared to vegan products, what was the main differences you'd see? Not necessarily straight away, but if you cut my hair for a prolonged
Your hair
period of
tastes
time.
better.
Not really. It's just I think off my
Like
mind.
mine?
So if anyone ever questions me and says, "Well, yeah, that's not vegan on your top," no, everything's vegan in here.
Yeah, you're
so,
living a vegan lifestyle.
I'm living a lifestyle.
You're living your values, aren't
You're living your values.
Yeah.
Some lad coming here once, and I got talking to him, and he was telling me he's starting this cafe and get talking. And I was like, "Oh, I'm vegan, blah blah." So he says to me, "Oh, vegan lad. So what's your steering wheel in your car?" And I said to him, "I haven't got a car, mate." So just shot him down there and then.
A bike everywhere, obviously.
Yeah, bike everywhere, obviously. I like pull out the way snails. But yeah, just little bits and bobs. All the cleaning products are all vegan. Just everything, any product that we use in the shop, it is just like it's vegan. There's no animal cruelty anywhere in the shop.
The reason why I asked that question because when I
you
went
went into
vegan and
zero.
plant-based, my beard wearing is like it was more patchy than I noticed because I've got like get more oils in your skin, don't you? When you eat like more plant-based, I thought like.
Did you find your skin was better?
Not me. I think no. I wouldn't say my skin went better, but I think I'm like my beard like sort of went out more. Like I think from being a bit patchy
Your
to
nails
like.
go quicker.
Which sorry,
Your nails.
Someone
Probably,
said
yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
I bite my nails now. It's a bad habit. But, do you know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know
You
that.
wouldn't notice,
But
like,
my toenails maybe.
for about so I've been eating healthier, more consciously for about 2 years now, and then I went for a while, probably about 4 or 5 months, no meat, no animal products. I don't really eat animal products apart from meat, do you know what I mean, or maybe the odd cheese, but for a while I was full vegan. And I noticed it in myself. I was feeling my sleep, everything, my skin.
Sleep, you do sleep better being vegan. That is a
Better.
fact, like,
No,
yeah.
definitely.
But I seen someone and they were like, "Oh my god, you are glowing!" And I was like, "Oh, nice one." They're like, "What have you been doing?" I was like, "Do you know what? It must be the vegan stuff." And they were like, "What?" And she's
Yeah.
like, "What? How does that work?" And I was like, "I don't know, but it does."
You
She's like,
glow more than everything.
But the person who said this, if you're watching, you know you are, didn't believe it. And I was like, "But you've just told me, the proof's in the pudding. You've just said I
Yeah.
look good, and now that I'm telling you, it's because I'm doing this. Like,
Yeah.
you can't go back on
Must be the light.
Must be this fella following me around with lights." But like that, it's like, you know, it's that. So why would people shut off to the vegan thing, don't they? Because like, well, it can't be vegan. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
The proof's in the pudding. Innit?
Where are they getting the protein from?
Punk. That's a shout.
you glow more. You just feel better, and that's why, like, with the raw vegan, what a lot of people don't realise with raw vegan, people say, "What is raw vegan?" And you eat vegetables raw, but you can buy machines like spitalizer. So, say for example, you've got a carrot, you stick in the machine, the spitalizer like that, you start spitalizing it, and it goes into like spaghetti.
Yeah.
So it makes it more edible because you don't just want to get a carrot and start
Get
chewing it to
courgette
you.
and that I've seen that.
Courgette, things like that. But if you go raw vegan, when you cook your veg, you're cooking out 70% of the nutrition. So if you imagine you're getting that extra 70% being raw vegan, raw, whole food, organic vegan, you must feel unbelievable about yourself.
I
don't do that myself, but that's where I want to be at eventually.
I don't think people can argue a case that like a vegan diet is bad, but like, how is it bad to eat vegetables? It's not a bad thing, do you know what I mean?
Plants that are.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Your diet's terrible. You eat too much fucking broccoli. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, how can you argue against the point that
Yeah.
eating more vegetables and more vegetables, more fruit is a bad thing? Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. If you don't eat much vegetables. And
This is what I'm not. This is what I'm saying. I'm not sitting on the fence like, I don't know. What I know is, I think there's an agenda of people who don't eat meat, who don't eat vegan, who I think people who've never had vegan are like, where'd you get your protein from? That's like not an agenda, like a mindset. And then the other mindset of like antagonistic vegans. And I think being too far of anything's bad, isn't it? Like, as long as
you've got politics, you've got the far left, the far right. You don't want to be far left, you don't want to be far right.
Anything.
You just may as well just be a centrist, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And just sort of like be in the middle of both. Obviously, like, I don't want everyone to be vegan or whatever.
But if I went for a scrum with you wouldn't care what I ate, would you? Like, you wouldn't be like,
the only thing I can't have people eat around me, and this has been a thing since kids. I don't like seeing any meat in front of me because it knocks me sick, but I can't spare the smell of pork. So the worst smell to me, it's carbonara. Like, I say to the lads all the time, if we go for an Italian, just don't order a carbonara next to me because I won't be able to sit next to it. It knocks me sick, the smell. I don't know why, it just knocks me sick.
is it the meat?
that was my favourite meal before I done all this was like vegan. I done a vegan carbonara actually. There was a good recipe online. It's by
Not a carbonara.
do you know the Happy Pear?
Yeah. It's Swedish lads.
Their recipes are unbelievable, but the recipe they done for the carbonara, I done it and was like, done it and it was so creamy. It was literally the nicest thing ever. The only thing that was missing
Bacon.
was the bacon, unfortunately. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I had it and was like, this is so nice.
What
and like,
did you use instead of bacon? Was it jackfruit or something?
well, they say do whatever you want with it, but to get this thing called Big Smoke, I think it was called, something like that. Or it's like basically gives a smoky flavour. They went, if you haven't got it, you don't want to buy it, just use paprika. It didn't really have like the smoky sort of texture. I just put red onion and courgette in, but cut the courgette dead thin, and nutritional yeast.
Yeah.
With
nooch. That's what they all call it.
Well, the kids are calling it these days.
That's what the cool people call it.
Let's put a bit of nooch in.
That's what the North Enders call it, is it? Yeah. But like it was just cashew nuts, milk, bit of nutritional yeast, and then not gonna lie, last time I made that, I did put a little bit of parmesan in.
Did you?
Did put a little bit of parmesan.
He's not a
Do
vegan.
you know parmesan's not even veggie? Parmesan's got rennet.
Has it?
Yeah, parmesan's
We'll cut that out.
So what's in these, mate?
So they're just UV sterilisers. Yeah, of course, yeah. So obviously, like, we all have like our own trays with our own tools on, and we have 2 sets of tools. So in between haircuts, we just swap them over, and then that sterilises like our guards, our tools in between. Obviously, we have to wipe down with like the Medikill wipes, our clippers and everything in between, just to sterilise everything. Just obviously with what's going on, it's just the way the world's gone.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's the way as well. It's cleaner than if each haircut, like even without COVID. You know what I mean? Like,
well, once COVID's gone, we will carry on and get the exact same.
There's always been a comb in the blue barber side, gel in the barber.
There's always a comb in the blue barber side.
Yeah. When every barber you go to, I'm thinking, what is that? It makes sense. It's only good, isn't it? Like that people are more clean.
Nothing lives past that barber side. It's ruthless.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, kills the lot.
takes the skin off your fingers. Yeah.
If you got COVID and that didn't poison you, that'll take away COVID. But yeah, it's just that the world. It's a changed world, isn't it? So everyone's just like, I mean, you probably come to the shop now. It stinks of like.
No, I thought it smelled good. It smelled nice.
Bleach and whatever else, doesn't it? Like,
But you got it. Do you know what I mean? It's like smell of bleach rather than And the nice spray you have, by the way, which smells like John Paul Gaultier.
Available in Son of a Barber.
Come to this shop and your missus will wonder where you've been.
I still say L31, you know, like I know my mates do.
People still call it the L31, yeah.
L31, lads, you're like, yeah, it's gonna be in it.
It's like when places change, don't it? Like East Village Arts Club, when we used to go to like circus and that, like
it
was the mask. Everyone called it the mask, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you call it the mask?
Yeah.
I do refer to it as the
I thought you were
mask,
going to call it the art centre then.
We always called it it was always called the Art Club, but like the name was called the mask, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was the mask.
Everyone was like, "Oh, you come in the mask Saturday?" We're like, "Where's the mask?" You went of the East Village Arts Club. Oh, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like you stick with the original name, do you know what I mean? It's like
Here's one for you with the mask. I went to their 10th birthday. It must be about... I must have been 21, maybe 20, maybe a bit younger.
And you're all black rig out.
Oh, yeah. No trainees, that night, like proper shift flickers. And it was Steve Aoki was the main act, and Calvin Harris was the warm-up DJ.
Lad,
and
that's what I was on about.
It was empty. It was just people from Maghull in there, Maghull and Lydia, and like the place was empty, and like you could literally go over to Calvin Harris, like high five Calvin Harris. Steve Aoki was coming around giving us all shots, and like I know Steve Aoki's not mega in like in Europe he is, maybe not in England, but in America he's massive.
Yeah.
And Calvin Harris is probably one of the biggest in the world, and
Yeah.
they were in the
That was
match,
the
and we could
10th
yeah,
birthday.
it's just crazy.
That's what I was telling you about. Remember I said he was on a lineup at Yoris Vaughan? Steve Aoki.
He got like 1 year, he made like 40 million off DJ. Just off DJ, not even producing.
Steve Aoki?
No,
Calvin
Calvin
Harris.
Harris.
Calvin Harris, yeah.
Get on this stuff anyway.
Onto the
Instagram.
topic.
On the topic, yeah. We've covered most of it. Why is it barbers? What's good plant-based hair products? So what you sell here? Someone's asked.
We've just got our own, just like our own Son of a Barber product. So
boss.
we were using a product called Minerva, which is brilliant products, but I always wanted my own for the shop. So I just basically in lockdown, I just researched where I could get my own products from. So I found this company, I bought 12 products off them. 7 of them were just no good, and 5 of them were brilliant. So we've just got them in the shop now. It's our own products.
Available here.
Yeah.
And then everything else we've cut, yeah. Because he's plant-based, does that mean he won't butcher me behind it? That's people's fear though, lad, isn't it? Like being butchered, you know what I mean?
I have been.
shout.
I was saying to you off camera, I've been butchered. Butchered. Mate.
My mate there's got long hair because he's fed up of being butchered, so he's had long hair for like 5 years. He might come now. Yeah, we've all been butchered. That's a shout there. And then one thing we did was tell us something we didn't know. So here's one. Your PIN. So you know you say put your PIN in. People just say, oh, it's your PIN, but it actually means your personal identification number.
I like that.
That blew my mind when I figured that out. What? No, I do know that now, but when I found it out, I didn't know it, and I was like, whoa.
One thing I learned today is like, yesterday I felt like the ear felt a bit weird, like clogged up, and I woke up this morning. I always sleep on my right side. Woke up, was proper clogged up with like water. So I Googling like, what's the best way to get rid of it? It was like, put a few drops of olive oil in there. So we've done it, and long behold, it didn't do a thing.
He's being pranked.
Being punked, mate, yeah.
So strawberries aren't berries. That's a good one, that.
So what are you?
Peanuts and nuts.
You'd need the same Brazil nuts, are they, either?
Brazil nuts not nuts either?
They're not
Yeah.
nuts. It's mad, that, isn't it?
I know peanuts are legumes. I don't know what Brazil nuts are.
Yeah. What are donuts?
Nice.
What's what do you call it? Nooch. Nooch, man, I can't wait to
What
be
even
saying
is that? It's mad, isn't it? It's like,
Do you know what's weird about nooch? People actually make beans on toast and sprinkle that on top.
No,
That's
mad.
heavy, isn't it?
That is
I'd never do that. If I was cooking something, I'd put a sprinkle in. Do you know what I mean? Like if it was on the hob, but
But
I'd
you're
never,
not just eating it
I
as it
wouldn't
is.
put it on top
Do you know
like
what
to
it looks like?
garnish.
Fish food.
What is it?
It's like fish food, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's all
it
hat.
is. Yeah, it is. It's
that's
like
what it looks
it's
like,
like
yeah.
like crunkled up cornflakes, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It is. That's exactly what
Don't
it
get me
is.
wrong, it's nice in food though. Like you cook it right, but don't sprinkle on your beans. I might do that tomorrow just to see what it's like.
See what it's like, yeah? I just haven't been brave enough to try that, like. Here's one. Do you when you make beans on toast, you put the beans on the toast, or do you have them separate?
On the toast.
Do you have them on the toast?
I put them in a little dish, mate.
I put all sorts of
In
it.
a dish?
like a little
You're
tapas
definitely
dish.
from Maghull.
Yeah, these what I mean.
Idiots, actually. Definitely.
A bit of paprika, bit of chili flakes, bit of this, bit of that. If they even put a bit of salt and pepper seasoning in there.
Yeah, I put paprika, everything in it, make cumin.
Paprika's boss, innit?
Cumin, turmeric, everything, turmeric,
Yeah.
however you say it. Any mad fact, Jacob? I imagine you're a guy to have loads of crazy... Yeah, like things you didn't know. Like the hole in a can is for the straw, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And did you know the hole in a pan handle is to rest your spoon, your wooden spoon? I was like, that. I showed me mad, she's like, wow. Mind blowing. Nah, there's loads of mad stuff. There must be something.
Is there stuff?
Here's one. Do you know in the barbers the way it's red, white and blue? Do you know why that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you correct me if I'm wrong. So there used to be blue and white ones if they got a haircut, and red, white and blue, they used to bloodlet back in the day. And if you had something wrong, like an illness, you used to go to the barbers and they'd cut your arm to bleed or cut your leg to bleed, and they'd think you could bleed the virus out, and it was barbers who used to do that. They think you could bleed the demon out, yeah. With a straight razor, they'd slit your bloodlet like a litre or two, and that's why you'd see like red, white and blue, is that right?
Oh, he's that.
Is it? But that's what people say. I'm right in saying.
I've never heard that one before.
They thought it looked good.
I've read it, so...
I was saying, the red and white, it was because your barber, if you go back to like the 1600s, they basically, your barber was your dentist, your surgeon, whatever it may be. So they used to have these big cast iron sinks with these big bars over. So once they'd like add a bit, like done a bit of surgery or whatever, they get the white bandages and twist them around the bars at the top and pull it. So in the end, that became like native with barbers. Like it was just a thing to do with barbers. So in the end, when you were a barber, you just used to hang a red and white
rag outside. Yeah.
And the blue is when the Americans got hold of it. Americans change everything.
Okay.
Make it
is that why it's called barbers? Because of the bar thing? Is that what you're saying? Or not?
I don't know whether. I know it's probably a British way because the first ever registered barbers were in Britain.
Oh, were they? Yeah.
But I don't know.
Schooled me there. You've made me look an absolute mug.
And guess what? We're not cutting it out.
I love it though. Someone messaged me actually and said, do you know when you sneeze and say bless you? That's because like Middle Ages, when you used to sneeze, people thought it was a demon coming out of your body.
Yeah.
Get on this. So do you know why they do that?
Bless you.
Yeah.
So in
French.
The French back in the day used to like cut off your fingers. Apparently loads of English people got away, and when they got away on the boat, they done that to the French. Like
because that's not a thing in different countries, is it?
Yeah.
Is it British?
It's a thing, yeah.
That's mad.
Maybe the Americans have picked it up.
The okay sign is offensive in some countries as well.
Yeah, I've heard that myself. Yeah. Did you know? Okay, if you say okay, that's the only universal word. Okay.
Really?
In every every country on the planet, say okay. They understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Mad that, isn't it?
That's why foreigners always say okay.
Yeah, okay.
I say okay loads and work, you know.
Okay.
Go okay. Finish your and go okay, and they go okay.
All right, okay. So Denzel,
all right.
Is that okay? All right. And Training Day, what a film.
But
Oh, what a film, yeah.
Oh,
what a film.
unbelievable.
Denzel. So I know that today saying, for me, he's the best. He's my favourite actor. I think he's the best actor ever. But at the same time, he's not the best actor ever because he's only good for 2 roles.
Yeah.
He can play the Training Day role where he's the bad cop.
Yeah.
Or he can be the goodie. You couldn't see Denzel in a comedy, could you? Whereas
Probably
like
not.
DiCaprio is probably the best in my eyes because he's so versatile.
He is good, DiCaprio.
He is good.
I love that meme, mate. I seen a meme.
I got a boss on before, yeah.
Is it the tattoo one?
The fat one, have you seen it?
Nah.
Look this.
There's a lad, he's covered in tattoos, and it says, when your bird says there's no more room for tattoos, and he's got tattooed on his arm, Leo going like that with the string. Sick that, you know. His boss, DiCaprio.
I seen a thing
I just
that was
call
like,
him Leo, like I know him.
That's the latest one.
Yeah.
will you be an healthy I see one the other day, and there's a picture. Hey, get that underneath, Jacob. Get it by me here now.
That's it,
there was one the other day, it was like Titanic 2 is set to launch next year, and it's just a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio going, oh no, with a belly in it.
Nah, DiCaprio is sick. Like, Denzel's, I seen, what's the fella called who played Black Panther? And he died, didn't he? Had cancer.
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
I was close when I found that out.
I was myself. Have you seen the video of him like dedicating his speech and that, dedicating his career to Denzel? So Denzel paid all his school fees and everything.
Yeah.
He paid like a lot of people off, a lot of people's student debts off. But then at some sort of awards, that what's his name? Of Black Panther.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman is giving a speech, and it's about Denzel. He's like, you've changed the life of many. You're one of the greats, and that like there's gonna be people who come from you. And I was thinking like him and Samuel. I think it was to do it like black actors. Him and Samuel L. Jackson, like they're the role models for black actors, aren't they? Like
100%.
Because he was saying there's like Wesley Snipes and there's someone else. He was saying they're like they inspired you. We've had you to look up to. You're the greats. I was like, Denzel is like he's a legend. He's a living legend, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a sick man.
I was talking about the only film I don't like that he did, and I've seen all his films, was probably The Book of Eli. And it wasn't a bad film.
I didn't like it myself.
That was probably the only one that I didn't like.
At the end, I was like, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that
he's
it?
blind.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Nah, I thought it was a good film till the end. Like,
Yeah.
I was enjoying where's this going, yeah.
This
But
is
it is on 4-year-old Samuel. I've met him. Well, I say I met him. I have met him.
Cut his hair
When
when he had it.
yeah. When he's got a Kangol cap on.
Yeah.
See him in the showcase, exactly.
No, yeah.
Have I told you this?
Nah.
So,
What was he watching, lad? Snakes
That
on a
was
plane?
so before the Odeon was built in Switch Islands, the side of Liverpool, it was always East Lancs, wasn't it? I don't know if you saw the showcase on East Lancs back then. So my sister went to pictures one night with a mate. I was only a kid, so it was like one of those, when you're a kid, your mum drops you off with your mate, picks you up type of thing, doesn't she? So my mum drops my sister off with a mate, and then later on we goes back, and there's all like limos outside, and like coaches and this and that. And I was like, what's going on here? So we parks up on like the left hand side, walks in, there's red ropes and everything. So my mum says to this bouncer, what's going on here? She was like, oh, there's a a premiere of a film. Samuel Jackson's here, and my mum was like, "What?" So like Samuel Jackson, like even back then he was mega. You know what I
He
mean?
loves Liverpool though, doesn't he?
Loves
He
Liverpool.
proper loves Liverpool, yeah.
So it was the premiere for 51st Date.
Was it? Yeah.
We've all seen that film, haven't we?
Yeah,
What a film,
sick
like.
film.
So my sister comes out and my mum was like, "Listen, just want to wait round." And we obviously can see Samuel, and I'm not even lying by any means here. You lads, when you walked in, you know, you've got like the popcorn thing in the middle.
Yeah.
With, like the desk where you get your sweets and that. And like in the middle of that was like red ropes. So we stood one side of the red ropes, and there was me, my mum, my sister's mate, and two of the girls. And the two of the girls knew about it. So they were there to see Samuel Jackson. And the next second, like the film finished, we waited for about an hour and a half. Then the film finishes, and it was at the time. I don't know if you were too young. Again, I feel that old saying this, like, but you remember when Kev Seed was massive in Liverpool?
Kev Seed breakfast show.
Yeah, everyone loved Kev Seed, didn't they? Like, so Kev Seed was there. I was dead excited, probably more so to see Kev Seed because I used to listen to it on the radio every night or whatever. So Kev Seed comes out, "All right, Kev, you all right?" And the next second, Samuel Jackson just walks out.
That's mad.
And I'm like,
Was it like Kev?
"Where's Kev?"
Mate, there was a legend here.
And I shit you not, he got off in a Delta.
Did he?
He
Yeah.
got off in a Delta.
Imagine that
Yeah.
taxi driver telling his next fare, you'd be thinking,
Sick,
shut
isn't it?
up.
Samuel Jackson
You have
in
not
Crocky.
just had Samuel L. Jackson in this car.
Samuel Jackson in a
Mad.
Delta, that's like...
It's just mad.
My man, I can't comprehend that.
Nah, he does. He supports Liverpool, doesn't he? He loves Liverpool. I remember seeing an interview, and if they said if you could live anywhere on the planet, where would you live? And he said Liverpool. He loves it. He loves the people.
Best city in the world.
Well, it is
Yeah.
definitely.
I would love to live in Amsterdam because I love Amsterdam, but I always think I'd always end up back here because it's the best city in the world.
It is great. Like,
Yeah.
the haircuts are mad in the Dalmati.
I would like to live
like a
anywhere
trend,
else
innit?
in this country.
Yeah,
except for
in this
Liverpool,
country,
do you know what I
it's
mean? I couldn't see myself, like, I couldn't settle down.
I like London, but you couldn't live in London,
No,
could you?
it's a holiday, innit? It's not.
Yeah.
It's like, it's too much, there's too much going on for me.
Yeah. You realise when you come back here how much of a quiet city we live in.
Yeah.
I like just chilling with pipe and slippers, you know what I mean? Feet up and that, do you know what I mean?
Sunday papers.
But going on next is the album of the week.
yeah.
So last week we had George and Nathan on for the Monks, and they picked a great album by Crangbin, which is called Bear With Me One Moment.
Yes, Como
I get me
del
phone out as well.
Toro or something.
Cono Todo El Mundo.
Yeah.
Translation to English from bit of
Do you want to try
bit
saying that again?
What?
Do you want to go again?
Contondo El Mundo.
Yeah.
So basically that means
Okay.
with basically it translates to actual Spanish. It sounds like the Spanish with everybody, but it means like with all the world basically. So apparently the bassist called Laura Lee used to get asked by her granddad basically how much they love me, and he used to reply Contondo El Mundo, which means with all the world. That's where the album name come from.
That's boss, that, you know.
Contondo El
That
Mundo,
is
which means
sick.
with all the world, but it could also mean with everybody. Like I went for a drink, Contondo El Mundo, with everybody. Do you know what I mean?
Ah,
It
yeah.
can be translated in both
Are they
ways.
Spanish, the fellas? Like, is that
So basically they're from Houston, Texas, and apparently like
They record in a band, don't they? You were saying?
yeah, so apparently the lead singer Matt
mad.
Steer, his family owned a bar and they've converted it into a studio, and they've done 3 albums there. They've done 4 albums, I think, and 3 of them have been in that studio. But look,
It's the best background music you'll ever listen
oh,
to.
it is. But
Yeah.
they're from Houston in Texas, and apparently like there's like it's in the top like 3 most multicultural, and there's a big South Asian community and a big
Tex-Mex.
like Mexican community, Latino community, and
That's the thing, though, innit? Tex-Mex, like,
Yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
the foods, Tex-Mex and the cultures. It's like
the
a clash,
biggest
innit?
the biggest inspiration towards this album was like the first album they done, and was like they found the sound, and like Thai funk and Middle Eastern rock was
That's
like
sick, that.
was the main sort of influences towards it. And Krangben George actually said just does translate to aeroplane, and they were learning
Thai.
Thai. All of them were
In Thai,
learning
yeah.
Thai because they were interested in it. And Team Krangben was like interested in that, but it's like it's so, if you listen to the music, it's so like
What is it?
it's so vast, isn't it? Like it's not just American. It's everything. It's Thai funk.
Yeah.
It's everything. Do you know what I mean? It speaks so many different languages. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, and the thing that's good about them as well is like
The tunes tell a story,
you
don't
could
they?
literally, I couldn't tell you. I could tell you about 3 of their songs. What they're called. You don't even have to know what they're called. Just
But you know them.
you get lost.
Yeah.
You get lost in them, and it's
Yeah.
like it's just so nice to like to sit there and have on the background or just listen to get into. But like the way they design the tunes and they want them to do, which is a lot different to other people, is like every song will start with a drum loop. So there might just be a little, and then Laura Lee, who's the bassist, will just go on the bass and do a little bass line, and then Matt Steer, who's the lead guitarist, will just start playing along, and he goes, my idea for the guitar to be, I don't want it to be overpowering everything. I want it to be like a vocal. I want it to be like,
is, though, it is,
like a vocal.
definitely, yeah.
And it's went, at the end of the day, it's like a conversation between us all. He does his drums, he does his bass, and I fit it all together like a good conversation.
It is. Like,
which is really good, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
No, it is. It's like a conversation,
Yeah.
and it's like all the students tell a story. Some of them, like, they've got like a sentence in, and they keep repeating the sentence, and then they might go on a different topic, but it's not like lyrics. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of the vocals apparently are there's personal jokes between them that they say, and they go, "We'll find this." They just little like lines or like random words.
Like I was doing a protein punk tune.
Do you know what I mean? out next week. Not plugging anything. Do you know what I mean? But like, yeah, it's just like it's like a conversation between them all. And it's like, for me, it's like,
It's a great way of describing
to me,
it.
it's like it's for me, it's the pinnacle of like psychedelic music at the minute for me.
Yeah.
It's like it pinpoints all eras together, all different
styles.
eras, all different styles together in one. And for me, it's like they are one of the best band out there at the minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. They are on so good.
I'm not surprised Monks picked that album.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
they-
not.
you can
I'm
tell
not.
they're a big
It's like it's
influence
such
for
a
Monks.
big.
The
Like,
boss.
it doesn't matter what like type of, if it's not like psychedelic music, it's like it's a big influence, but it's something different. For an album, they've done 4 albums or 3 albums, and like the latest album they done, which will come out this year. For them changing it up was them putting vocals in the songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, that, when I was listening to the album, that was the only thing that I thought it needed more vocals.
Vocals like.
I thought it back. I
think that
it
would
was
boss
nice.
it.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
like
bars.
it's not
So
there.
I've had it on like literally all day today, and then when
Even
it was
with
cleaning up
customers
last
and that
night,
as well, yeah.
just in the
Yeah.
background, and even Ryan said it's just like
It's good background music, isn't it? It is good background music.
Because that's like I wrote down because I knew I'd never ever remember, so I thought
They're meant to be boss live though as well,
Yeah,
you
they
know.
are.
They
I
do,
can
they
imagine
do
it, yeah.
covers and that as well.
I can imagine like
live.
the whole audience just to go quiet,
Yeah.
and everyone
Yeah.
just
And
like
be into it,
closing
yeah.
their eyes just in the moment.
There's a boiler room.
Heads
There's a boiler room they do in London. As if you haven't listened to them or you want to give it a watch, because like there's only about 100 people there, not even that, probably like 50 to 100 people there, and like the camera's like on like me here. If you can see there behind them, there's like you can see trains going past and that. It's proper like it's not like over commercialized performance. It's not overly visual. It's just
Simplistic.
three people in a band, bassist, guitar, and drummer. Simple as
Yeah.
that. It's not over complex. It's not over produced. It's easy, simple, and
About the music.
great to
Yeah.
listen to. Do you know what I mean?
They're a belter, lad. You got me on them. The
Yeah.
boss.
So if you need to listen to Cranberry, because I cannot stress how good they are.
Yeah.
For me, they're up there with one of the best
Tell lad, you
bands.
haven't shut up about them for 50
Well, bring this on, you know what?
and seen.
See, Mike, what's your album of the week?
Nobody's got facts about this album, haven't you?
Have you got facts about this album? Do you want to throw us first?
yeah.
Go on. You said you wrote down those before. Actually, go
Yeah.
on.
The which?
I like that. No one else has done that.
No,
yet.
no,
It's
so, yeah, because I knew I'd forget what I was thinking about.
That's how I always do, you know. Or
Yeah,
we're
I
doing
do
this
myself,
podcast,
yeah.
and that.
When
I
you
knew he
think
was
too
gonna
hard
take
about
the-
something type
yeah.
of thing.
I knew he was going to take the lead on this album this week, and I done J. Cole last week, and he was probably thinking I made up Jack Stone. Because I love that album, so I've just thought, yeah, I'll do the album this week.
I thought it was like James Bond's background music.
Yeah,
It is. It's like a soundtrack to a film, and at the same
Like,
time, yeah.
like movie soundtracks.
Yeah,
I
it
felt
is.
like that.
It's like
I
Quentin
felt-
Tarantino stuff, I think.
Yeah, like
It is.
probably not James Bond, probably more Tarantino.
Yeah,
That makes
it
sense,
is.
yeah, because he's a bit obviously wacky, isn't he?
It's like dun, 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 dun.
I felt like I could be in a speakeasy bar in town and it'd be on the background.
Yeah.
Something like
These
that.
are good notes, these,
Yeah.
you know, these are good.
Driving tunes.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are
in the
proper
car,
driving.
definitely
I
driving.
can confirm.
And then
I reckon also as well, they are proper making love tunes as well, do you know what I mean? Slipping the sexy
you might be watching.
Slipping to some sexy undies and see what tonight takes us. No, but one of the things, I've just had to look at my notes there, one of the most important things
Why
is
are
like,
they always on in yours then?
which,
Every time I come into yours, they
every
just
time you come into ours, I'm in my bills with them on.
host.
One of the things he said about this,
You just said that. The proper making love.
they are though, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, half of the week, man.
Anyway, your album.
Devil's Night by D12.
Yeah.
So I know it's not for everyone.
It's for someone. It's not for him, Mr. Anti-Hip Hop.
Nah, it's like Purple Hills, isn't it? Heavy tunes.
Heavy tunes.
Yeah.
Like D12 is Eminem and like,
It's just
It is fair.
is it like,
isn't
it's just like his like
12 people
his
from
pos-
Detroit, isn't it? That's why they're called D12.
6 of them. So there's
So why's
6
it
of them
called
and they've all got
D12?
alter egos.
That's it, yeah.
That's
yeah.
why. Yeah.
Sick. That, you know, that's so sick.
Mind.
One of them's died, though, wasn't he?
Oh, what was
Proof
that?
died,
Proof?
didn't
Yeah.
he? He got shot on
That's mad.
in
Is
Detroit.
that
And he
who's
was
in
probably
the
the best
film?
out of
Is
them.
that who's in the film? In the
No,
8 Mile
this
film?
was after 8 Mile.
Can I ask?
No, but is that who's in the film with him as mate in the film? Is he called?
No,
who
because-
hosts the battles and that?
Yeah, so in like 8 Mile, it's not sort of like...
Nothing to do with
it's
the
not-
D12.
It's like a bit of a... it is how it went, but it's not how it went. It's like a Hollywood sort of version of it.
Okay,
It's not really
sounds.
D12 in there type
So
of
why
thing.
that album, mate? I know
So-
you love hip hop and stuff, but
Well, when you said to me like you got to choose an album, I was thinking like what album means something to me, and I thought like
You mentioned 50 Cent, didn't you?
Yeah, 50 Cent's like my hero. Macklemore's probably my most favourite rapper ever because like I can associate myself most with him because I love gangster rap, but I'm not a fucking gangster, I'm a barber. Type of thing. So like I can associate myself a lot more with Macklemore, but like I
even
remember
though you had them cornrows back in school.
but I remember going to America in 2001 when the album came out. I'll tell you what, the tunes come out then at the same time. You had Uncle Cracker Follow Me came out that year because I remember
I
in
don't think
America.
I've ever heard that tune.
I've never heard that. You'll not. I'll put it on the second now.
Yeah.
That and there was another tune that came out anyway. And I remember buying the CD in America. MP3 wasn't a thing then. And I remember we rented the villa just outside Orlando. I remember, Mum, I want this D12 album. One of the lads who went to school with just got me into hip hop, and I was like, I've got to get this album. And back then, it wasn't like it is now, where something comes out in America on Monday, it comes out in Britain on Monday. Something came out in America then, it wasn't coming out in Britain for another 3 months. So I got this before anyone in England type of thing. So I got it like over there. It goes back to the villa, and I'm listening to it, and like I'm just like, this is sick. Me one walks in, and like some of the lyrics, obviously, I think said he's like a lot
Explicit,
of it's like
yeah.
it's explicit, it's political correctness, it's not right. It wouldn't last these days. But back then, I was a kid. I didn't really understand a lot of it.
Eminem in a nutshell.
Like, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, one walks in, she's like, "What are you listening to?" Like fuming, but like
Loads
that
of
album-
parental guidance on the
Oh,
album.
like, yeah, just swearing. I was only like 13 or 14, but I've just got good memories from that album. One of my next door neighbours, John, like me and him just sitting there, just listening to it constantly, and like it's just tune after tune. There's not a bad song on the album if you're into that type of music.
Yeah.
Like I know you said you're not into that, but like for myself, I just love hip hop in
That would
general.
explain why you're such a gangster, lad. I love it. I've never listened to it. I've listened to D12, of course, Purple Pills.
I haven't listened to the album.
What's the album called again?
Devil's Night.
Devil's Night. No,
Yeah.
I've never listened. And I know what they're about in hip hop. I've just never delved into them. So that's
Yeah.
why we started the album of the week, isn't it? For me?
Yeah.
I went
What?
to see them in Manchester once at the Apollo.
Yeah.
And
But that was an experience.
like, it was unbelievable. So like, again, I was banging to me hip hop, and like they're wiping themselves with these towels while they're on stage. They're dead sweaty and that.
Got the towel and then the
like,
cap on over.
Towel
and
and the
that.
cap on over.
I love
Then they're
that.
throwing towels in the crowd with sweat on, and I caught one. And this girl next to me, don't know who she was, some girl from Manchester or whatever. She grabbed the other end. I
Took
swear
a
there was
walk.
murder. I fucking
you get
made
the
sure
towel?
I won, like, yeah, I got the towel. I still got it in my room.
Keeps it in one of these.
Never washed it. Like, so smelly.
Sick that though. I love that. Now
Oh,
we'll listen to it.
that's
Therefore,
good, yeah.
I guess who's going to be reviewing the album for next week?
Not me.
Not him. What else was there to do?
If you like hip hop, lads, you like it.
Yeah, I
It's a
will
classic.
definitely like it.
Just a dad joke.
That's it. The dad joke. Yeah. So that, Mike, it's been a pleasure, lad. I love this.
Do you know
getting
what?
out.
I'm good to this come to, I've enjoyed this.
You got
I'm looking
Mike,
forward to
I've
that joke.
fucking loved this, you know, like,
I've
it's
loved
been
it.
such a good conversation as well, like,
In a belter space.
it's been a
as well.
belter, like, do you know what I mean? Such a good, if you get the opportunity to come here because it's
Yeah.
the good barbers, and it's like, the values of the barber, and it's not just
Yeah.
about cutting hair, it's about doing it in the right way as well, which everybody can appreciate and love at the same time, innit? But
And as you can tell, you won't be short of conversation. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but having it,
Yeah.
how long's it been? An hour
If
and
you come to the
yeah.
shop, I'll make sure you walk out vegan.
Are you doing it?
I'll pass it over to
Yeah.
lads.
Dad jokes.
Not a dad yet, are you?
I've got one off the top of my head if you
I'll
want it.
go. We'll take the book back.
Oh yeah, if you got one on the top of your head, you fuck that.
A lot of our
I say
guests,
this in the shop all the time.
do you know what? A lot of our guests have been dads, so they're equipped. But go ahead, hit me with that.
I'm a dad of a chihuahua.
I imagine, is your dad like my dad, just full of them? Or is he not?
Do you know what it is? One of my mates is full of them.
Is
I
he?
like,
Yeah.
I get me next door neighbour John. I get them all off him. He's full of shit jokes. And this is the only one that ever sticks in my
GDPR
head.
there. Go ahead, it does
So,
this joke.
two fish in a tank. One says the other, who's driving?
Lad, I was going to say this. That's the joke I was going to say.
It's just a shit joke,
Did you
isn't
tell
it?
me that on Sunday when I got
Did I
my
tell you
haircut?
that tonight?
I think so.
Oh,
I was
it's
like,
just a
I can't
shit
wait
joke.
to say this. I love it. You know
That's the only one off the top of my head.
Never
Two
heard.
fish in a tank. Two fish in a tank. One looks at the other and says, who's driving?
Who's driving
It's just
this?
shite, isn't it?
It was you. I was good at there, you know.
Do you want me to get the book?
We get them.
Hey, let's rewind.
I'll end on that, mate.
I seen a fucking superb one before.
Want to hear a joke about paper? Never mind, it's terrible. There we go. Classic. It's getting off.
And you know what? Cut.
Mike, thank you very much for having us. That's been a belter.
problem. Nice
Mike,
one.
appreciate it. And do you know,
appreciated.
come to some of the Barber. It's in Maghull. Postcode is L31.
5NF. November Foxtrot.
Just Google it.
Get yourself
And
down
Liverpool,
here.
it's not West Lancashire.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
If you just want any more information on it, get in touch with us or just get in touch with your Mike. But what we have learned
Better
from
get
today
going, you
that
gotta show
vegan barbering is a good thing to do because it's not just about the cutting hair. It's about what about that? Do you know what I mean? It's about
More sustainable.
Conscious, yeah, more
consciousness,
sustainable.
You're
It's
living your
more.
truth out, you're living your values, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mike, thank you very much for letting us to come down
Nice one
today
for
and thank you.
allowing me to come on, lads. Appreciate it.
And that's time.
Nice one, lads.